Death comes for everyone, but sometimes it arrives in ways so sudden, so bizarre, and so violent, it almost defies belief. These aren't murders or disasters caused by malice. They're accidents, freak, twisted, almost impossible accidents that turned ordinary moments into nightmares. From a man swallowed whole by the earth, to another literally melted by molten metal. Today, we're counting down 10 of the most violent freak accident deaths ever recorded. Viewer discretion is advised. Number 10. The molten metal tragedy. It was a normal day at a steel foundry in Ohio in 2018. Workers were melting scrap metal in a massive furnace, temperatures reaching over 2,500 degrees Fahrenheit. But one small mistake, a single drop of moisture, caused a catastrophe. When the molten metal hit that water, it instantly flashed into steam, creating an explosion so powerful it tore through the factory floor. One worker, standing too close, was instantly engulfed. Witnesses said it happened in seconds. The blast threw him back, and the heat was so intense, it left almost nothing behind. A routine job turned into an inferno. Number 9. The Titanic theme park death. In 2016, visitors at the Titanic Museum attraction in Tennessee were enjoying a replica of the ship's icy deck, including a massive artificial iceberg display. But during maintenance one evening, the heavy structure suddenly collapsed. Thick ice panels shattered and struck 3 workers beneath. 2 survived. 1 didn't. The freak collapse of a fake iceberg inside a Titanic museum, an eerie echo of the real disaster it was meant to commemorate. Number 8. The skydiver who landed on a plane. In 1989, a skydiver in California jumped from 12,000 feet. Everything seemed perfect until fate lined up a once-in-a-billion accident. As he fell, a small private plane unexpectedly flew directly below his descent path. He struck the aircraft's wing at over 100 miles per hour. The collision ripped off the plane's stabilizer and sent both skydiver and pilot spiraling down. Neither survived. Investigators later called it statistically impossible. 2 flight paths crossing at exactly the wrong second. Number 7. The escalator. Horror. A busy shopping mall in China. 2015. A mother and her young son step onto a brand new escalator. But as they reach the top, a maintenance panel suddenly gives way beneath her. She manages to shove her son to safety, right before she's pulled into the machine. Security footage shows staff desperately trying to stop it, but it was too late. By the time rescuers dismantled the escalator, she was gone. A hero in her final second. Number 6. The jet engine incident. 2006. El Paso International Airport. A ground crew worker was guiding a Navy jet on the runway when he stumbled too close to the engine intake. Jet turbines create suction strong enough to pull in a human from several feet away. Before anyone could react, he was sucked into the engine. The explosion was so violent, the engine instantly disintegrated. The pilot ejected, and the jet burst into flames. Investigators called it one of the most gruesome aviation ground accidents in U.S. history. Number 5. The amusement park decapitation. 6 Flags Over Georgia. 2008. A teenager jumped a fence to retrieve his lost hat near the Batman roller coaster. Moments later, a train of coaster cars came roaring by at nearly 50 miles per hour. The riders felt a sharp jolt and realized, too late, that they had struck something. It was the boy. The impact was instantaneous, fatal, and horrifying. He'd been warned not to cross the restricted area, but in seconds, a careless decision became a fatal mistake. Number 4. The Yellowstone Boiling Pool. Yellowstone National Park, famous for its geysers and hot springs. But beneath their beauty lies unimaginable danger. In 2016, 23-year-old Colin Scott slipped off a boardwalk to test the water's temperature. He never got the chance. The ground collapsed under him, plunging him into a boiling, acidic pool reaching over 200 degrees Fahrenheit. His sister watched helplessly as the water consumed him within minutes. By the next day, there was nothing left to recover. A tragic reminder: nature doesn't forgive curiosity. Number 3. The skyscraper glass fall, Toronto, 1993. A young lawyer named Gary Hoy loved showing off the strength of the building's glass walls to interns. To prove it couldn't break, he ran and threw himself against the window. He'd done it many times before, safely. But that day, the glass didn't break. The entire frame popped out of the wall. He fell 24 stories to his death. A man who believed in safety until physics proved him wrong. Number 2. The Ferrari factory explosion in 2013. At a small Italian facility that produced custom parts for Ferrari's racing division, a high-pressure fuel tank being tested suddenly exploded. The blast tore through the workshop, destroying half the building. 4 workers were killed instantly, bodies thrown dozens of feet away. Investigators later discovered a microscopic flaw in the tank's weld, invisible to the naked eye. A single imperfection that unleashed chaos. Number 1. The sinkhole swallow, Florida, 2013. Jeff Bush was asleep in his bedroom when the ground beneath his house simply opened up. A massive sinkhole, 20 feet wide, 60 feet deep, swallowed his entire room in seconds. His brother tried to save him, but the hole kept collapsing. Rescue teams never found Jeff's body. He vanished, taken by the earth itself. It was one of the most violent and surreal deaths ever recorded. A man literally devoured by the planet. Life can end in 1,000 ways, but sometimes the most terrifying thing is how random it can be. A few seconds. A single step. One drop of water, one loose screw, one turn of bad luck, and everything changes. These stories remind us that safety is an illusion, and that fate doesn't always play fair. Which of these accidents shocked you the most? Let me know in the comments. And if you want more stories like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell for the next deep dive into the darker corners of reality.